On Monday, I had a question, Rick. What kind of partner are you going to be? Ric Flair. Woo, 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 woo. Well, that doesn't make any sense, but ha ha ha, it's such good shit, pal. I'm John Renton with the retro review of WWE Smackdown from November 22nd, 2001. Yep, I'm continuing the coverage of the rest of 2001, or at least until the Supermarket Steve Steaks episode, where Stone Cold Steve Austin beat the shit out of Booker T in the grocery store. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. That's pretty much the last episode that I'll be doing. Then the occasional retro reviews in 2022 and beyond. But I think I'm kind of done with this episodic coverage because it is quite a bit of stuff to cover. That being said, though, the invasion angle is done, and now Ric Flair and Vince McMahon are business partners because Ric Flair sold his stock to that consortium, and the consortium, woo, was me. Actually, it was Shane and Stephanie, but let's not mix words or facts in this hodgepodge of ideas where it was all to get Ric Flair back in the goddamn ring. Him and Vince McMahon would have a pretty damn terrific street fight at the Royal Rumble 2002. And then Ric Flair and Undertaker would have a pretty underappreciated WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 18, but that's in the future. We need to talk about this, which actually was technically in the past, so was WrestleMania 18. So let's stop talking about time travel. Let's talk about this show from Fayetteville, North Carolina, Flairetteville, North Carolina. That's a really, really bad play on words. Recaps of Survivor Series and Ric Flair showing up on Raw. Thanksgiving special in a turkey pool at ringside. Boy, women's wrestling has really come far, hasn't it? Cole and Lawler on commentary. Flair shows up to a pop and he recounts all the stuff that happened, everything, becoming business partners with Vince McMahon, co-owner of WWE. And he says that we're going towards vengeance on December 9th. And we have two champions. So on that night, tonight, two champs will become one. Okay, not only did I butcher the Spice Girls classic, but I also butchered my goddamn voice there. Let's carry on with the fact that Vince McMahon comes out and says, I like your idea. I like it, pal, but I want to add Kurt Angle and Chris Jericho. We need to have a mini tournament. We need to make it not so obvious what's going to happen, and we need to have somebody suddenly win the championship, but ha ha ha, it's such good shit. We're going to pull the swerve with Chris Jericho, and then ha ha ha, he's going to face Triple H at WrestleMania. It's all going to be about Triple H and Stephanie because I don't care about Chris Jericho. He's a vanilla midget. And then Kevin Nash told him that and then subsequently tore his quad. So before Nash tore his quad again, we are going to talk about the fact that this went on for a long time. Now, yes, Flair was all woo, 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 woo. You know, he was just doing all that stuff. And then that was pretty much it. They pretty much just went back and forth, and that was about it. Also, Vince questioned why he didn't stop Stone Cold Steve Austin from beating down Kurt Angle and then beating him down. So Trish was interviewed by Coach about the upcoming match. I will give Trish credit. She was always willing to do anything to get the women more attention. I mean, to get herself more attention, but basically just get the women's division more attention because she worked hard and got better. She was one of many women that finally started to get the recognition they deserved years and years later. I'd put Victoria right there with Trish, but that's another discussion for another day. Test took on Sky Tuhati. Oh, because Test beat down Sky Tuhati and took his place in the Immunity Battle Royal, which Test won. And even though Scotty tried to utilize his worm, it got fought up in a stiff big boot. My fucking goodness, that sounded stiff. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. Charmel, yes, Booker T's wife, I think they were married at this time. I think. Or at least they were dating. I'm not totally sure. She's interviewing Taz. And then he's back with the WWF. And again, let's plug this shirt. My sister painted this logo. And it's my most treasured shirt. I love it. It's great. Old school wrestling fan like me would definitely appreciate it. Funaki's laughing with him about how he called Regal a kiss ass. And Taz, because Taz is kind of a bit of a dick, decided to attack him, and then Big Show said, hey, why don't you pick on somebody your own size? Okay, little man. So Angle tells Vince, hey, the fans should be thankful for me because I saved the WWF. They're still on this. I know that we're just a few days removed from the pay-per-view, but seriously, they really fucking wrecked Kurt Angle's face like his face turn and everything, and just like the pops he was getting by doing this. And even though he does fit in well as a heel, they really had something with him as a face, and it was organic. It just started to rise up, and people were really fucking reacting to him. But he refuses a hug. Vince refuses a hug from Kurt, and Angle feels like he should be champion. You should, but unfortunately, Ric Flair decided to mess it up. Ha ha! It's not such good shit, pal. We gotta do something about this. Anyway, Christian brings Vince room service, including a turkey with all the trimmings, and Taker interrupts. And he's pissed. 11 years here, you couldn't let me in on what you were going to do at Survivor Series. I get the feeling this is Taker airing out his grievances, and probably airing out his grievances, if you know anything about the man himself, at Vince, in reference to the Montreal Screwjob that happened about 4.5 years, or 4 years prior, 4 and like 2 weeks prior. The whole point is, he's like, you couldn't let me in on this. All I want is respect. It's erasures. Just a little respect for me, Mark. And he says, well, he's your boy. I know when somebody's your boy. Boy. And I don't want your damn turkey, but I will tell you where to stuff it. So Big Show took on Taz, where Taz locked in the Taz mission after climbing up on the ropes and on a crane because Taz is short. Do you get it? And locked it on the Big Show, and Big Show eventually just did the thing that Vader did with Cactus Jack in WCW, and also Big Show did with Mankind at Mania 15. Flopping right back on him. Ouch. No amount of money would get me to do something like that, even if I was an athlete. And then he won. Good match there. Angle then tells Vince, hey, I'll beat Thank You out of Taker. Regal's in Vince's office. I need a favor, pal. You want me to do that? You won't. And we find out, sorry to any of my British friends. I'm so sorry. Terrible British accent. Angle takes on Taker, and, well, they did some good work, like in 2001 and 2002. Whenever they faced off on TV or in tag matches, they always worked well together. Angle used quickness and a post spot to gain the advantage, targeted the ankle. Taker comes back, sells the ankle after hitting a chokeslam. He gets his own ankle lock, but won't break it. And so we get a big schmozz finish where Vince McMahon comes down with a chair and is going to hit Taker, but doesn't. Taker basically slaps the chair out of his hand and says, I just want a little respect for me. And that's pretty much it right there. So that would lead to Undertaker making JR join the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. Taker turning heel for no fucking reason. So here's Regal. He was honored to kiss Vince McMahon's backside. That was his words right there. Calls Austin out. Useless swine. Pathetic pillock. And here's Austin. He whats him to death. Literally whats him to death. Holds a cloth over his mouth because, you know, he kisses his ass and he's like, smells like crap in here. And we get all the usual stuff. You're in the Kiss My Ass Club. I'm in the Whoop Ass, or Kiss Ass Club. I'm in the Whoop Ass Club. So stunner and a beatdown, but then the Dudleys, Christian, and Test, the remainder of the alliance, the remnants of the alliance, that were just put there simply to give them star power because Vince McMahon did not feel that the WCW roster had enough star power. To be fair, to the vast majority of people, he wasn't wrong, but he didn't utilize them properly. And it's 5-on-1, Regal stretch on Austin while Vince and Angle watch backstage. And then Vince is all jubilant and everything and says, okay, Christian, haha, you get to face your brother for the Intercontinental title. Go win it, pal. Ha ha! So, Trish took on Stacy in a gravy bowl match for the Women's Championship. My God, women's wrestling has come really goddamn far. So, both these women got facefuls of meat and pie. Stop thinking about it. I know you're thinking, but you know who you are. And a camel toe clutch for the victory inside the pool, and the referee got tossed in there. Again, women's wrestling has come a lot further in the last health. Whew. I mean, look, I'm all for fun, but good fucking grief. Stacy was never a wrestler; she was an athlete. But you know, Trish was whatever. Anyway, Matt and Lita are talking about Survivor Series. Matt says all Jeff had to do was climb down. He didn't have to do Swanton. Jeff's holding an ice bag on his neck. Seemingly has not recovered in a few days. And it's like, I don't know when I'll be back. And then Matt Hardy's knocking him, making a selfish choice. Lita says, hey, Matt, you know, we should have, there's bigger stuff outside of wrestling or whatever. It's like, why'd they imply that Matt was verbally abusive towards Lita? I don't really fucking get why they were going. These storylines of verbally abusive spouses or significant others never really work out that well in wrestling, or at least WWE handles it with the subtlety of an elephant stomping into a goddamn china shop. How an elephant gets to a china shop, I have no idea. But that's basically what they were doing. Jericho steps out of Vince's office smiling. Why? We find out soon. Christian and Edge had an Intercontinental Championship match that wasn't much of anything. We got the referee diving out of the way of a spear, a low blow, reverse DDT, but Christian couldn't get the victory. And then even though it looked like Edge might get the victory, nope, we get Test with a big boot. And that's a DQ, and that's pretty much it. Then we get a kill switch, or the Unprettier, on a chair. All right. Then we get RVD and The Rock against the Dudleys and Chris Jericho. It's no longer a WWE Tag Team Championship match. It is just all about Jericho and Rock having the continuation of their feud, and RVD and Rock teaming up for some reason. Back body drop. That goddamn sharpshooter by Rock. It's terrible. Low blow. Jericho, hits a rock bottom on Rock. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, does Jericho have The Rock's number after one fucking victory? So, yeah, he actually does, because he beats The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. Jericho may have said that once or twice. So, yes, a few more retro reviews to wrap up this remainder of 2021, of 2001. And then let's just dive into some other stuff. We'll see what retro content comes for next year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.